Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will continue Chapter 1 topics. The last video, we reached Part 3 software. Now, what do we mean by software? A software is a series of instructions or a special program that performs a particular task. We have two types of software. One type, we call it system software, and the other type called application software. Now here we have a definition for each one of them. System software is a program that manages and supports the computer resources and the operation of computer system. That means it's an interface between the user and the computer. Without the system software, it's not possible to work with the computer. An operating system is considered part of system software or kind of system software. It's a collection of integrated computer programs that provides recurring services to other programs or to the user of the computer. Operating system, just like Microsoft Windows, which we are using, is the interface between the user and the computer. It helps the user in order to use the computer peripherals, to use computer programs, all this done through the operating system. Now, the following are some functions of the operating system. Number one, user interface. The operating system allows user to interact with the computer. B, file management. Manage data files. That means we can create a file, we can copy it, we can delete it, rename it, we can create a folder, delete, rename, copy, cut, and so on. Task management, which controls the running program, which involve multitasking capability. For example, at the same time, you can open Adobe Reader and Internet Explorer and any other folder or any other program. Resource management, which manages computer hardware resources like CPU, memory, secondary storage, input-output devices. So for example, you can connect a new mouse, you can connect a new printer, you can connect a new device to your computer, and you need the software, which is the operating system, in order to define the new software setting. Example for operating system are Unix, Linux, Mac, Microsoft operating system, DOS 3.1, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows NT. Also, there are some operating systems which nowadays we are using them on our mobiles, like Android and iOS for mobile phone. Also included in some system software are utilities and device drivers. So utilities and device drivers, we can also consider them as a system software. System utilities includes a variety of specialized programs that can be applied across application, like troubleshooting, diagnostic software, data backup programs, file compression software, and other tools which helps us to manage the computer. While device drivers are needed for every peripheral and device connected to a computer. So whenever you connect a new printer, for example, you need the device driver in order to define the new setting for the new printer or new mouse or keyboard. Now this was the first type of software, which was the system software. The second type of software, we call it application software. Application software is any software which we use for a special purpose. Consists of programs that direct computers to perform specific information processing activities for the end user, of course. Those type of programs are called applications package. There are many types of the application software, and we are using them in our daily life, like general purpose application program. Those are application packages that perform a common information processing hubs for end user. They are also known as a productivity package, just like Microsoft Office application package. We have business application programs. Those are the programs that accomplish the information processing task of important business functions or industry requirements. Scientific application program, those are programs that performs information processing tasks for natural, physical, social, and behavioral science. And sometimes we use it for engineering also. There are so many other application areas such as education, music, art, medicine. All of those areas also they have a specialized software which they call it as application software or application package. They use it for their own purpose. We have also programming languages. Programming languages are a set of commands, instruction, and other syntax which we use it in order to create a special program. This is done by the programmer. For example, about programming language like machine language, assembly language, Visual Basic, C++, Java. But of course, there is a huge difference between those type of language. Some of them are low-level language, others are middle-level language, and high-level language. Now, the high-level language program, the computer should convert the program written in a high-level language into a program written in a low-level language so the computer can easily process the program. In order to convert, we need a compiler. A compiler is a program that processes statements written in a practical programming language and turns them into a machine language or a code that computer can process. While the interpreter, a computer language processor that translates a program line by line, statement by statement, and carries out the specified action in sequence. Rather than the two types of software, which is the system software and the application software, we can divide software according to the way which you can buy the software or which you can take the software. So there are some types like freeware. Freeware is a software that's available for user in a very low cost, or sometimes it's free, but usually, although not necessary, with one or more restricted usage rights. That means this type of software doesn't allow you to use all the options. They give you some options and they give you the software for free. Shareware is a property software that is provided to user without payment, but on a try basic. That means they give you the software for 30 days, for example. You will try the software. If you like it, you will buy it. Otherwise, you will leave it. After those 30 days, they will ask you to pay or to register. Open source programs, anyone can download it for a little or no cost sometimes, and can use, share, borrow, or change it without restriction. Commercial software requires a payment before it can be used, but it includes all program features with no restriction or limit time because you are paying and you are getting the software. Computer viruses, they are also computer programs that can copy itself and infect a computer without permission or knowledge of the user. We have many types of computer viruses like worms. They are a small piece of software that use the computer network and security holes to replicate itself. While Trojan horse, they are also a virus type of viruses that claims to do one thing. It may claim to be a game, but instead it damages your computer. It may erase your hard disk. Email viruses travels as an attachment to an email message and usually replicate itself by automatically mailing itself to dozens of people with your email address contact list. Boot sector virus, they attach themselves to a first part of the hard disk that's read by the computer upon boot time. These are normally separate by floppy disks. Microviruses infect files that are created in a specific application, just like files created in a Word program which has the extension .docx, or files created in an Excel program which has the extension XLSX, and so on. Other types like web scripting viruses, directory viruses, fat viruses are also there. Now, in order to prevent our computer from those viruses, we have to have some antivirus on our computer. What is an antivirus? An antivirus is a program that protects your computer from virus attacking, and it must be installed on all computers. It automatically checks for any infection data, and it asks you to clean this data or clean this file from the virus. They should be capable of not only detecting the virus, but also remove it or remove infected files. Copyrights. Copyrights are computer software. It could be a text, it could be a graphic, it could be an image or audio video. All these are copyrighted materials owned by the producer, and it's illegal to make unauthorized copies. Software, we have software license. When you buy a software, it's supplied with a sealed package on which the terms and conditions of use are printed. You cannot copy the software. End user license agreement, when the user accepts the terms and conditions. Whenever you want to buy a new computer, you should have asked about some items, which they should be there in your computer and with good quality. Those items like the processor, you have to ask about the processor, you have to ask about the speed of the processor, you need to ask about the main memory and the size, you need to ask about the hard disk and the size of the hard disk, you need to ask if you have or the computer has optical disc player, what is the size of the monitor, you need to ask about the price and the warranty, and also identify the software you will need. Now let us come to part 2, which talks about health and safety issues in using the computer. It's not only the computer which we concern about. We're concerned about also the user who is using the computer. This user should use the computer in a right way. That means while using the mouse, your hand should be in a right way. While using the keyboard, your hand should be in a right way. Your arm should be on a right way on the chair, and so on. So let us have this picture. We can see this picture. Now, the hand on the computer in this picture, it's in a right way, while in those pictures, it's in a wrong way. This is the right way of using the keyboard, and this is the wrong way of using the keyboard. This is the right way for using the mouse. This is the wrong way for using the mouse. This is the right way to use the mouse, and this is the wrong way to use the mouse. Now let us come to the setting. Make sure that your monitor is on arm length away from you. Your fingertips should be barely touching the screen. You should also be able to see over the top of the monitor. The light you use should be on a low setting and out of your direct line of vision. Make sure that the screen is square to your line of vision. Your arm should be at 90-degree angle and your elbow bended. You should be sitting up straight like a boat with your back and butt against the chair. Your chair should be well padded and fully adjustable. You should have a wrist pad lying on the desk that you can use to rest your hand on while typing. Keep your feet flat on the floor and close together. What about the privacy and data protection? Privacy is defined as the claim of individual, group, or institutional to determine when, how, and to what extent information about them is communicated to others. It's your right to control what happened with personal information about you. So you should have a privacy on your data. Data privacy is the relationship between a collection of dissemination of data, technology, and the public expectation of privacy, and the legal and political issues surrounding them. Right to privacy is a fundamental human right, and most of us take for granted. For example, we would not want our name, address, job profile, family, and medical record available to everyone. So this is the right to privacy. Access right is the level of authentication to read and or modify a record of a data. Regarding to Omani law for protection of personal data in the electronic transaction, you can find it in your handbook. Read read this part.